All right, we're gonna try to be consistent. We're gonna try knight f6 for black, no matter what white does. So no matter where they go, we'll try knight f6. That controls if they play d4. That controls e4 square. I'll go over if they play e4 in another video. So like already, black's controlling these light squares. We're gonna add more light squares with this bishop feeling shadow. Like all these light squares being covered. Adding more light square coverage. Here we're going to try to push c5. So we have the knight and bishop covering those. So this will go and try to open up a file. It breaks up the strength in the middle by separating the pawns. Now the f pawns threat. So you don't want to take that knight because they're gonna give white another chance to reconnect them. So you want to keep that separated. We go knight to e4, the outpost for the pawn. It's covered twice by the bishop and pawn. Also, you want to push f5 to give it more support in the next move. So it's a solid center for black. A nice solid outpost. The pawn can't kick the knight from e4, so it can stay there forever. Knight won't take it because then the pawn takes. You fork the bishop and rook. So knight can't ever take here. And they're not going to take it with bishop more than likely. You want to keep the bishop on the board. So an option is trade knights off and then replace with the next knight. That's a long-term goal. With this rook here, you want to be careful to castle into this attack. So I'm going to hold off on castling. Actually, I'm going to shift over here so I can connect the rooks back. So I'm going to try to open up the G file, which is facing the king. You got to be careful. Like, you really want to push h6, but then you get forked with the knight, so you have to push this first. G6 is covered by the rook, and then you can push the pawn on h6 if you want to try to open up the king side. All right, now I'm looking at maybe trading knights and then replacing, trying to open up the board. Now, the future move is trying to get rook to g2. So I open up the diagonal for the bishop, and I'm going to open up the g file for the rook. I'm threatening the bishop with this move. All right, I'm going to try to trade pawns. Again, here's the attack in the future. So I have it now. All right, so the lanes are clear. I'm going to go ahead and add the queen, threatens the bishop. Going to snap take that. Knight for bishop, if you can, is a good trade. So I blundered here. I could have had, actually had queen takes pawn check. That wins his knight. And I forgot about this rook looking at it. And he missed it too. So I actually blundered the queen. But check out how strong this attack is. So I blundered queen, but I have a double bishop pair facing the king. I got a rook on that open G file. So I can still come back from this. This bishop pair is so strong. And I'm going to threaten queen. If rook takes bishop, the rook would be free on this one. So I had to threaten queen to buy me time. Then hopefully connect the rooks here. So queen's threatened. He goes to sacrifices the queen for the two rooks. But now the end game is advantage for black. White shouldn't win. At worst, black draws. But the way to end this, if you have a light color bishop, you want to get all your pawns on the light color. That way the bishop can protect. Centralized king, walk the pawn. There's no way this pawn can get past this pawn. And then if you get a chance to, you can push this, have that bishop protect that pawn. This king protects this pawn, and then maybe walk this. It's too hard for white to win. At worst, it's a draw for black. But I win on time here.